little bit more easy for me to talk this. United Nations of the Spirit is your love empowerment. You are empowered with love, and you give that love in your assignment to the Mother Earth in one way or another. There's really no hard and fast rules, but there are the rules, there are the wisdoms, the declarations of wisdoms, which we're giving in the Kiva, in the foundation or the revelation day of the United Nations of the Spirit, and it was then expanded in Kiva Kumbh Mela, where it was officially said, yes. It's even like, for example, let's say if you're a powerful person, and you have a very important thing, but you don't have money. So you can go to people and say, I make an offering for the United Nations of Spirit. Can you give a donation every month for this? And maybe you get $300. And then you say, okay, now I get $300 every month. I can hire 3 people. And these 3 people, I say, I give you $100 a month, and you have to help to protect this river. Because this river is where they're throwing all the garbage from this industry here. And we're going to be there, and we're going to preaching protection of this area. And in order so you can live, here's your $100 every month. This is an example. Cheryl, she has some 30 people working on her project. She's from Standing Rock. She's one of the founders of the United Nations of the Spirit. And they're protecting the environment of the Black Mountains of the North American natives. How many areas are there for applying practical offerings of the United Nations of the Spirit? Well, I would say many, many millions of projects. And it is so big that most people will not know about it. You don't know what we are doing for the United Nations of the Spirit in India. You don't know. And it's not so interesting for you because you live here. You have your problems, your local problems. Everybody has local problems. And the United Nations of the Spirit have to take care of everything. In a way. If we are lazy bums, we just sit down at home and turn on the TV and we say, yes, United Nations of the Spirit, these are some idealist dreamers. So let them go on dreaming and I'm watching my TV. So then, you're definitely not an ambassador. That's not ambassador quality. Ambassador is a, you know, it's a very high word. It's like you are representing something very elegant. And when this word was chosen by the natives, these empowerments are making you the United Nations of the Spirit ambassador. Can you imagine? You print your card and you go to the people in the area. It says, can I speak to you? Who are you? I give you my card. Pedro Gonzalez, ambassador of the United Nations of the Spirit, section Munich. What is this? Who is this? What is United Nations of the Spirit? Well, look it up in the internet. Find out what it's all about. And what you want. I am here to invite you to become a guardian of this forest in front of us. You know that forest where everybody goes and dumps like garbage and things like that, or the river, or the lake, or this, or that, whatever issue is there. The United Nations of the Spirit can become the greatest movement of active involvement if there's enough ambassadors who promote it. because it's not an institution. You can locally register an institution, an organization, and do something. And you can say, this institution is an offering to the United Nations of the Spirit. There's no problem. You can make an NGO, you can make an enterprise, you can be you can be independent and do something just on your own. If you don't have other people to join with, unity gives more strength. So this empowerment was authorized by the Kiva Kumbh Mela Prayagraj. In other words, you are empowered as an ambassador straight from the Kumbh Mela, from the heart of this wonderful event where there was the Kiva Kumbh Mela. That's where that empowerment comes from. And that empowerment was so powerful, it was blessed by the Vice President of India. He came. The governor of Uttar Pradesh came. All the big yogis came, and all the big chiefs of the nations, they also came. And they all together empowered you, if you want to be empowered. You know, if you get a job in the United Nations or in UNESCO or something like this, you get a big salary, and you get an office, and you can become a lazy bum there getting money from the system. That's not the United Nations of the Spirit. That United Nations of the Spirit will not give you any office. You have to give the office to the United Nations of the Spirit. You have to sit in there. You have to finance it, empower it contagiously. You have to make something that the people will understand. These people are for real. These are the guardians. They are self-proclaimed guardians. Because if you follow if you read all the declarations and you agree with them, that means you're an authorized representative. There's no doubt about it. That makes you successful. And I don't have to read them to you because I know that you agree with them. They're the most normal, developed feelings of anybody for our dear mother. So, Srila Prabhupada envisioned that we need the United Nations of the Spirit. So now the next question is it possible? And the answer is, it already started. It's just a question of when and where you are going to participate. Now, because the United Nations of Spirit is not going to give you money, is not going to give you security, it's not giving you anything which you don't put in yourself. Therefore, it will not be so easy to make it popular because people are not in the mood of giving. People are more in the mood of taking, complaining, corruption. They say, what's in there for me? This is what people ask nowadays. You want me to do this and that. What's in there for me? Well, I tell you, your Mother Earth is there, in there for you. The health of your children and grandchildren is there, in there for you. And the prestige of being an ambassador of your own mother's welfare, well, that's also in there. But not that you work less or anything. On the contrary, United Nations of the Spirit will make you work extra hours without pay. Now, if you want to be paid, then find somebody who wants to pay you. Many people in this world, they can give money, but they have no time. No problem. Then you convince them, you give some money, and then, very good. Very, very good. We are spending right now from South America something like $4,000 a month in India. $4,000 in United Nations of the Spirit offerings to Vrindavan in the form of schools, organic agriculture, organizing the Holy Dham by the need of what is there in order to accomplish what we have put on our project list, which is called Bhumi Guards. And Bhumi Guards, they are Raj Bhumi Guards. They are something like semi-volunteers, semi-hired people to supervise the guardians. We also the Bhumi Rakak, the wonderful guardians. Ikwa Shenduna is this called in the native language of the Wiwa in South America. Ikwa Shenduna means guardians of Mother Nature. So you can also become a guardian of Mother Nature, or call it an ambassador of the United Nations Spirit. In the essence, it's the very same. It's just a different way of saying the same thing. But for some people, maybe make more sense guardian on Mother Earth, and for other people, may make more sense. It's the United Nations of the Spirit, which allows us, which empowers us to participate and to give. Now, since many of you have accepted that you want to become ambassadors of the United Nations of Spirit, congratulations. Then try to figure out what you're going to do. What does that mean for you in wherever environment you reach? Whatever you do there. Whatever you like to do. Like you made those beautiful videos months ago. They were an offering to the United Nations of the Spirit with the music of the Bhagavad Gita songs. Very, very, very wonderful. So, this is the type of thing. There is no hard and fast rules. If Sivananda prints a book, and in the entrance of the book he says, this is an offering to the United Nations of the Spirit for awakening our responsibility as sons and daughters of the Mother Earth. If he puts that in the entrance, then that book has been, for me, extra value. Because as I told you, Prabhupada asked for a spiritual United Nations. He asked for it, now it has come. And it is so important. It is, in a way, I could say, it's more important than a religion. Of course, it doesn't substitute religious things, but it's the only qualification which does not exclude anybody. If I'm worried about the plastic in the water, I'm worried about the children of Muslims, Hindus, Jews, Christians, atheists, doesn't matter. I'm worried about the welfare of everyone. And that is really from the heart. And if I work hard for the welfare of everyone, then we should expect at least some people to appreciate that. Some people should appreciate that you are doing this. The Spirit in Munich. Can you imagine what impact that is? That means they're talking about United Nations of the Spirit all day, every day, in every department. You have 10,000 ambassadors. Well, how many sons and daughters of Mother Earth do you have in Munich? 2 million? Or 1.5? Who knows? So, if the sons and daughters want to respond to their own mother, welcome, congratulations. It is so a little bit like Friday for the Future, because this is such a nice, it has become a mass movement. And it should be a mass movement that people want to become ambassadors of the United Nations of the Spirit. And that's also something very good with, you can see that this spirit represents the universal spirituality. It doesn't represent one particular religion and puts down the other. No, United Nations of the Spirit embraces the divine transcendental aspect of life. So it is a very, very good. Only the word United Nation of the Spirit is a tremendous preaching. If you want to see it in terms of preaching. Because it's preaching that there is spirit. And of course there's spirit, because if you are becoming an ambassador, it's your spirit which decides what offering you want to make for the Supreme Spirit. We are small spirits, and there's a Supreme Spirit. There may also be intermediate spirits, more advanced souls than you, but in essence, it is really that you have to assume if I asked Srila Prabhupada what he wanted us to do, he gave many instructions, and I will give you a few of them. Nobody should go hungry close by any place where we are established. We should only eat food which comes from an organic garden. We should make sure that Mother Cow is not suffering by our lack of consciousness. And of course, Prabhupada said many other things. You should live without intoxication, and no meat eating, no gambling, no extra marital sex life. So all these things, they are very clear messages for United Nations of the Spirit ambassadors. But not all of them are written down. These are things you have to understand it in your own heart, in your own investigation. That's why many people becoming now vegetarians by Friday for the future. Because they understand we cannot change the politicians, but we can change what we eat. So many children now, they're having a vegetarian revolution going on in many parts of the world where Fridays for Future is manifesting. This is very good. Friday for Future is an offering to the United Nations of the Spirit. So we are all connected. We are in very good company. All the children in the streets, in the world, who are now going out on Friday to protest, all of them, they belong to the United Nations of the Spirit. Do you know how many it is? There's millions. There's millions of kids participating in the United Nations of the Spirit. And there's thousands of organizations all meant to establish. To establish the reality of a platform for friendship and action. That platform for friendship and action can be your apartment, or your office, or you can meet in a park close by. You can meet with them. You don't need anything except your heart at the right point, at Mother Earth. The United Nations of the Spirit, they can have singing and dancing as well. There's no hard and fast rules. But of course, we have priorities. And those priorities, getting hot there. Those priorities they have to be understood by you, the ambassador. What's the use of me understanding them? If you are not understanding them, then you will not put it into practice. No, it will not. Only things which you understand, you can communicate with others. Only things which you feel for and you consider priorities, then you will make a point of working for it. So it is true that United Nations of the Spirit is recruiting real pioneers, real people with real compassion, empathy, who want to fix things which are a disaster. It may all look to you like David and Goliath. But everything in the world starts with the David being upset with the demon Goliath. So therefore is no argument against it whatsoever. If Goliath is everywhere, just wait and see when the Davids come and throw the big guy over into the water. So therefore, we are really inviting you from the heart to take this and to become ambassadors. This is my pep talk. If I am not successful in my pep talk, then you will go after the meeting and forget everything. And there will be no activism in the United Nations of the Spirit in your city or in your house or in anything. So very much I depend on you whether you really want to do something for your mother. Or if you just want to say, oh, the age was very terrible, we destroyed everything, we contaminated the rivers and everything. Yes, yes, that's meant to happen. This is the geographic and cosmopolitan situation of today. And we want to go on with whatever we do. Fishing or anything. But if you really want to be a guardian of Mother Earth, you may think about other more beneficial things to do. But all of us, we have to start doing things. Like, for example, if I say you have to become vegetarian, that is not a very attractive statement for those who are meat eaters. But if I say, please, for Mother Earth, be so kind and reduce the amount of meat you eat. Please, cut it in half, cut 3/4. We need you, it's your mother. The meat eater does not get upset. He may do it. He may start cutting meat. Many people have cut meat. Who of you can say that the meat consumption in their home has reduced over the last 10 years?
Sorry, I'm not quite sure about the question.
I asked, how many of you can say that in my home where I was born, the meat consumption has reduced over the last 10 years? Anyway, I saw a few hands going up, and that's a good sign. It happens. And many families have become completely vegetarians also. So, in other words, United Nations of the Spirit has an impact. And that impact will become stronger and stronger and stronger. It is, United Nations of the Spirit is backed up by the First Nation leaders. I was there in the meeting. I'm also an ambassador. So I can empower you. You just have to say, yes, we'll do it. What you will do, you will find out what you need to do in your country, in your city. Wherever the disaster is, there's so many disasters. Some people may be working, helping drug addicts to get away from drugs. And they may say, this is my offering to unite the nation of the Spirit, to have healthy sons and daughters. Completely accepted. You can call the United Nation of the Spirit is an open ball game. You can play any way you want, and you can bring any amount of balls and play around there and do what we have to do, because we know. Krishna. So this is, I was so happy to be able to address you as a very ripe audience, because you are all spiritually inclined, you're devotees, or you like the devotional environment, you all know that we are spirit souls, you all know that we have a mother who is alive and who is in danger. So I know you all can relate to what I'm saying. It's not that I have to manipulate you or brainwash you to come to some conclusion. No, but maybe we can push you to start doing some activism and start your own cell of consciousness. That would be so wonderful. That would be so encouraging. And now I'm asking Priya, please come here and give us a little report on the activities of United Nations of the Spirit in Barcelona. What are they doing with the movies? She's making a movie series which is called We Are All Indigenous People. So
I think all that just comes from the heart. If you love Mother Earth, if you love nature, if you love animals, if you see everything that is happening in the world, I think we have the need and the right and the obligation to give the best of us in the form of activism, in the form of art, in the form of making a movie, writing a book, whatever, and then I think we become a real guardian of Mother Earth, and we discover our real identity as sons and daughters of Mother Earth. I like to say that we are indigenous, because I believe that that's our truth identity. But like Occidental people, like me, we lost very much our root with nature, our root with Mother Earth. So I think we are very disconnected. We forgot that nature is not there. It's not environment. Nature is us. Nature is life itself. So life is what we're here for. Love.
So, what are the last movies you have made?
Well, the last movie.
Tell us about your movies.
Yeah, well, I was traveling in South America already a long time ago in Brazil. I was going to indigenous communities, seeing, for example, the disasters the monoculture of eucalyptus made in indigenous communities, killing all the biodiversity, putting the indigenous communities out of their territory. Then I realized that all that has to do with us. It's not something that is happening there. Has to do with our consumption. Something that Gurudeva was always telling us about being responsible with our consumption, becoming conscious consumers, right? Because we are financing with our money. Every time we go to the supermarket, we are financing all these corporations that are killing life on Earth. So we are really directly responsible for what's happening in the world. It's very easy to say, oh, the corporations, oh, the governments, it's true, but also we are doing it. So I think all of us, we have to reflect also the activism of everyday life that we do every day is very, very important. What we put in our fridge, where we buy, if we buy to this farmer that is doing organic farming, little land, we're going to buy in the big supermarket that is part of all this train structure. So all these little acts, everyday life acts, are very, very important to transform the world. And well, in my videos I try to put the service, but I do very little. I wish I could do much more and put much more service on that. Thanks to the inspiration of Gurudeva, he really pushed me to focus much more.
What the movies what you made?
Well,
Subjects.
yeah, but I said over the indigenous people and the monoculture, and then also when I went to the temples, South America, I film every temple, the Eco Yoga village, a lot of beautiful stories. Like how to make a bamboo house, or how to do like a biodynamic garden. Many beautiful ideas that I try to register and transmit. Yeah, the last, for example, in Medellin, with Prabhu Vishnu, the leaders of the Ancestral Wisdom University. He showed me, we went together to see a beautiful place with springs and very beautiful forest, old forest, even with ruins. Like the minery. The minery is going to do like an open mine. It's very betrayed. Yeah, he's a biologist, so he was showing me the places on the biodiversity, values, incredible place, and all these richness of nature, and then even these old constructions of ruins. Probably, I don't know what happened a few years ago, a few years later, but this is just an example of something that is happening all over Colombia and all over many countries in South America. Just one.
questions?
What did you just say?
That we wanted to hear some representative of the University of Ancient Wisdom, which is one of the offerings which is already going on for a few years by members of different places in South America and India. And we just started a new program of Ayurveda courses in Vrindavan in Spanish as a department of the University of Ancient Wisdom. So there's many things under working. So I don't know exactly who is participating from this side. Bhakti. Yes.
But I would like to say something.
Go, take.
Yeah, one very good, interesting thing that is happening right now in Barcelona, this actual ayuntamiento of the city, he's going to declare the declaration of
town hall.
yeah, town hall, the declaration of climatic emergency. So they open to collaborate, to participate with collectives and organizations.
Very good.
Yeah, and we are already inscribed. We are inscribed like All Conscious Pact because we want to introduce the rights of nature in the level of the municipality.
En la municipalidad pues, van a declarar un estado de emergencia en Barcelona. Esto es una ofrenda a la
Very good chance.
Bravo.
There is somebody who collaborate, very welcome. We need to help with that. And together with them,
We are making an offering here for the United Nations of the Spirit with Saraswati's new technician companion. We want to make a power plant driven by cows. Make electricity with cows and not slaughter the cows. That is a project which we are working on right now. It's already been accomplished in India, but we want to put some German technology on it, so it will become very effective. Because people have an energy crisis and they send the cows to the slaughterhouses, so it's a double loss. Big problem. So this is one thing which is working on. Who else is connected with United Nations of the Spirit?
How is that going to make energy from the cow?
Yes.
How is it?
Just like you have the wind rod, you can make the cows to drive around and to generate an generator and to generate energy from that. And by doing that systematically, you occupied many cows.
Thank you, Priya. Very wonderful.
Guruji, I'd like to make a couple of considerations.
Yes.
I cannot say that I'm an ambassador, but I have 4 children, and I'd love to through their eyes, to be there, to be able to see what I've seen. You know, but in the last few years, in the last, let's say, 20 years, things have changed so dramatically, and sometimes our source of my name is Giuseppe. I live here in Germany. I have 4 children. I've been vegetarian, I have to say on and off. By my children, they don't eat meat. But the things that really worry me about is sometimes I get information, for instance, in Colombia, that social activists that they try to do beautiful things with the environment are killed or disappear forever. And then I try to think what these kids are doing with Fridays for Future, for instance. And I see that somehow they're spreading what they want to bring forward in order to make serious changes for the environment and especially for the environment. Ich glaube, it comes to the school. So they have access to a special network. And then again, so I can see, I hear what you've done spiritually. You have been doing a beautiful work in Colombia. But despite that, it's a country that goes on creating a project like the mother was saying just now. And so, because this multinational controlling everything, they never stop and think like a father or a mother, what are we doing for the environment? So sometimes I feel as if my little action I'm doing in order also to educate my children. That is the only thing that I can see what I'm doing well. Yeah? And the rest, somehow I have to say I lost hope. So, hearing what you said now, and I thought, oh, beautiful, it would be incredible to have a representative of Mother Earth came to school and telling children what's going on and showing them it's behind the meat industry. Or the fish farming in Chile, or what did I say? Well, I come from a small place in Italy, Calabria. I cannot say that the amount of meat sorry, I get a little bit confused, but the amount of meat that the family consuming is getting lower. No, absolutely no. No, that is not the case. Because again, people consume meat every day, every season. There's just an ongoing slaughtering in order to feed up this need. So, yeah, only that I want to say. I really expect so much from South America. The other day I was reading something about an activist in India. I forgot her name. She's Vandana Shiva, yeah, Vandana Shiva. And I heard that.
She is the founder of the United Nations of the Spirit
I knew that. And the state now it's completely organic. It's organic because they have done such a beautiful work to tell people what's going on, and it's wonderful.
in South America, you know, the pressure, especially from North America, so gross that little steps are, yeah, we don't hear so much. Yeah? So, in order to get to these children, in order to spread up fast, like Friday for Future, the representative from United Nations of Spirit can maybe go to school and tell people what's really going on. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think it's more likely that the children from the school will go and tell the others what they should do. But if anybody goes to the school, you know, you go to the school, they don't let you talk to the children. It's a very difficult platform, you know. But this movement Friday for School arose from the school. They became self-relying and informed. So it's a very wonderful movement. So in one way, everybody contributes to the United Nations of Spirit, what he has and what he can. And also the devotees of Krishna, they will also contribute their own, like prashadam. I give you the good news. In the Kiva movement, where the United Nations of the Spirit was born, practically the devotees of Krishna took over the kitchen, and all the people are eating vegetarians when they have Kiva movement. Both in India of course, but also in South America, in Peru, and in Chile. And not only that, the devotees cook prasadam for everybody. So it's a very wonderful contribution, and uniting the spirit of prasadam with the environmental concerns are very, very important. Where's Govinda? Govinda, tell a little bit about what's happening in Santa Marta, what you did. She worked with the University of Ancient Wisdom for how long? 1 year? 1 year she did volunteering service there, and she can tell us what the girls and the people work there for and how the advancement is coming. Please, can you speak in English? No? Okay, you speak in Spanish, I translate. There's many things I want to tell you, but I don't know where to start.
La primera vez que llegué allá pensé, sí, esto es un servicio, uno cree que ya sabe mucho porque está con los devotos, ¿sí? Porque está en muchos lugares naturales, habla de Krishna.
So first time when I went there, I thought I know a lot, and what's a very nice environment, there's natural setting, and I seen the eco farms and so. And then I arrived in the Utsav. But when I started studying in the Utsav what was going on, I started realizing that I don't know anything. Even of Krishna I have said so little understanding.
Porque a veces el proceso, a veces, bueno, en mi parte, se coge el proceso de una manera un poco superficial, ¿no? Como la forma de vestir, de caminar, de hablar, ¿sí? Los mantras. Pero es difícil realizarlo, es muy difícil realizarlo.
I sorry. It is very difficult to realize all these things.
Y una de las maneras en las cuales yo pude sentir un poco de lo que Gurudeva y Srila Prabhupada nos regalan, fue a través de ese contacto que tuve con la naturaleza.
My contact with Mother Nature then was teaching me many of the things I've heard from the spiritual teachers and Srila Prabhupada.
Entonces ahí me di cuenta de que es prácticamente imposible, desde mi punto de vista, tener un proceso espiritual y estar desconectado de nuestra tierra.
So, and I felt and I realized that you can't really have a spiritual process and on the other side be disconnected from our Mother Earth.
Entonces cuando fui a Santa Marta, lo primero que hicimos fue ir a recorrer las diferentes terrazas de la UTSA, que están a cielo abierto.
So the first thing when we went to Santa Marta, we made a journey to visit all the different terraces of the United Nations of the Spirit, of the UTSAF.
Y me di cuenta de que la montaña, su primera terraza es la base, ¿no? Y se conectaban con mis piernas, que era lo que, cuáles eran mis raíces, cuáles eran mi base.
So I realized that the first terrace was my connection with the Mother Earth, where my feet touched the ground.
Después fuimos caminando y subimos más hasta mis emociones, ¿no? El estómago, la parte medio de la montaña.
And as we went up the mountain, I started realizing that we are getting to feel our emotions and how things were rising up in our body as we went up the mountain.
Hasta que llegamos arriba de la montaña, hasta la cabeza.
Until we reached the top of the mountain, which was the head.
Y te das cuenta de que realmente hay una conexión que no se puede separar. No me puedo separar de la tierra. Ella es conmigo.
And I realized there that I couldn't disconnect myself from Mother Earth, that I was part of her, she was part of mine, so no possible to disconnect.
Y que no hacía falta hablar, solamente tenías que estar ahí y sentir, y ella te habla.
And it was not necessary even to speak about it, you could just feel it.
Pero es difícil, ¿no? A veces la primera vez fue imposible, la segunda vez también como que me costaba mucho, pero la tercera vez simplemente dejé que ella pudiera contactarse conmigo, ¿no? Y es como una conversación que tú no entiendes, pero lo sientes.
So as I walked up there, I allowed the communication to happen from the Mother Earth to me, which was beyond words, but I was just feeling what's going on, how is it growing, how is it developing.
Y es cuando me di cuenta de que todo lo que nos rodea nos quiere desconectar, de que oigamos eso.
And I realized that in our modern world, everything we get involved with is practically things which want to disconnect us from Mother Earth.
Y que nos están quitando la posibilidad de sentir.
And we are losing the ability to feel.
Hasta de sentir a otra persona, de sentir a tu naturaleza, de sentirnos a nosotros mismos.
Even to feel your own nature, to feel your own very inner being, that is also in danger.
Entonces, la UTSA para mí fue volver a vivir.
For me, the UTSAF was a chance to return to live.
Y yo me siento muy agradecida con todas las personas que estuvieron ahí conmigo en el proceso.
And I'm also very grateful to all the people who were there in this process with me and who helped me to gain that vision.
Porque era algo sincero, se veía que lo hacían de corazón.
Because it was something sincere and they did it all from the heart. Did you take a course of Sons of Mother Earth? With who? Is Vishnu? Yes, so she took a course in the UTSAF, which is called Sons of Mother Earth, Children of Mother Earth, and that is what she's saying, is what she learned in that course. Estaba Viskunwi? So not only Vishnu, but she learned from the native chiefs, or one of the sons, one of the people, because the natives, that's what they learn. They learn about nature and our connection with Mother Nature, which we have lost so much. That's why we are inviting the leaders of the United Nations of the Spirit to come in contact with Fridays for the Future, so that the children can also learn about this. They will get a totally different appreciation, and the movement will become more surcharged with empowerment for becoming United Nations of the Spirit ambassadors. What more? ¿Qué más?
También a veces era un poco complicado porque como
Manchmal war ein
nosotros
bisschen
estamos
kompliziert.
en la, bueno, o yo estaba como en mi posición
Weil ich war
Hare Krishna.
in meine Verbindung
Entonces
Hare
era un
Krishna.
poco difícil porque
Dann
había
war es ein
muchas
bisschen schwierig.
personas que veían su conexión con la naturaleza de
Sí.
una manera diferente a como yo la veía.
Kann
Entonces
kritisieren,
soplaban el
die-
fuego y uno es como, no lo
de-
sople.
de-
O pasaban por
de-
encima o cosas así,
de
pero yo aprendí a
Verbindung mit
respetar
Mutter
esto.
Natur anders.
Y me
Zum
di
Beispiel,
cuenta de que la
manche
manifestación
pusten
de Krishna es
dem
tan
Feuer
grande
und
que de
manche sagen,
tantas maneras podemos
manche
llegar a él.
machen das
Entonces
nicht.
fue como respetar a la persona que
Entonces,
al lado mío sin
bedeutet
tener
das,
que
dass
sentirme
die
como
ehren
atacada por lo que ella hace.
die Person, die am
And I
Seite war,
learned
ohne
in
zu
the
fühlen, dass
association with other
mich
people that
angegriffen von ihr fühlt.
you should not be too obsessed with your own concepts, but respect the other way of other people too, because there's many ways to serve and to learn from Mother Earth, from different traditions, and that is another thing I learned there. In other words, not to be sectarian, but to be open-minded with the others.
Y también me preocupé mucho porque
Dann
incluso
habe ich mir sehr
las
viele Sorgen
comunidades
gemacht,
nativas
weil
de la
es
Sierra Nevada de Santa
viele-
Marta y de
die
Colombia o
Gemeinschaften
de,
von-
bueno, las que yo
von der
conocí en Santa
Sierra
Marta,
aus Kolumbien,
ellos ya no practican prácticamente lo que
die
era de ellos,
praktizieren nicht
porque
mehr,
con el
was
paso del tiempo
den von denen
se han
ist.
ido perdiendo con
Weil
lo
im
que
Laufe der
el
Zeit,
sistema nos da.
Die
Entonces,
verlieren sich auch selber mit was
puede
das
que
System
aparentemente
an
parezcan
System anbietet.
nativos, tengan sus
Die
ropas,
kleiden
pero
sich
ya no
so,
practican.
aber die praktizieren nicht
Entonces
mehr.
la necesidad de tener
Dann die
como la
Notwendigkeit,
Universidad de Sabiduría Ancestral no es solamente para nosotros, sino
Das ist
también
nicht,
para que esos
diese
conocimientos
Universität ist nicht nur
se
für
siga
uns,
transmitiendo y se
sondern,
cuide, se
sondern
proteja,
für
porque
die selber, dass
es muy
dieses
difícil
Wissen
ya
weiter
como
erhalten
encontrar
wird,
personas como
weil es ist sehr
que
schwierig,
lo
dieses
practiquen
Wissen
realmente.
So I also could see that many, even of the ancient tribes, they were influenced by modernity and they were not practicing strictly what they had learned from their own tradition. So I could understand this is an urgent time. If we don't learn it now and share it now, these things may be lost. And if they're lost, then how will we really recover the consciousness to do the right things? So it's very, very important that we appreciate the wisdom of the ancient tribes and to do what has to be done. That was very, very wonderfully explained.
Entonces yo, así como mi experiencia fue tan maravillosa y bonita
dadurch,
para
dass
mí,
meine
los
Erfahrung
invito
war sehr schön,
que ustedes si
dadurch,
algún día quieren ir
Ich lade
allá a
euch ein,
conocer de la UTSA o si están interesados en hacer
wenn jemand
aquí
möchte,
mismo en
dahin
Alemania,
gehen
en
möchte,
España, en donde estén
das
algo
kennenzulernen,
relacionado con la UTSA,
oder-
pues
oder
que
hier
lo hagamos,
selbst in Deutschland,
que hay muchas
machen
maneras
möchte, hier
de
ohne zu
apoyar y
verreisen.
contribuir
Und dann es gibt
y
viele
es
Arten,
un
wie
muy lindo
man
proceso.
das unterstützen kann.
I'm inviting everybody. You can go there and take a course and get to know the Utsaf, or we can also get together and bring the Utsaf here and do things with the Utsaf right here in our own countries and wherever we live and whatever we do.
Y pues quiero darle las gracias a mi maestro espiritual porque
Und möchte, dass mich
por su misericordia yo
danken zu
puedo
mein geistiger Meister, weil durch seine
como tener la
Barmherzigkeit konnte ich
oportunidad de vivir todo esto.
diese Gelegenheit zu
I
haben,
want to
das alles
thank
zu erleben.
my spiritual guardians for the opportunity to learn about these things. And what did you do? ¿Qué estaba haciendo? ¿Usted trabajaba en cursos? ¿Qué fue su trabajo en la oficina
Welche
allá?
war deine
Yo
Arbeit im
estuve
Büro
más
dort?
como relaciones con las personas, como comunicación externa. Y bueno, estuvimos también con lo de Bosque Escuela,
Und dann haben wir
que es el nuevo proyecto que se
Bosque
está
Escuela
dando.
gemacht, eine neue Projekt, die wir gemacht haben. Oder die gerade
No
stattfindet.
sé, ahora me vine, entonces no sé cómo han seguido ellos también.
Well, I was more engaged in the public relation work to address and to take care of the people. And there is the forest school development, which since I came from there, I'm not so aware of all the developments going on there right now. But that's what Winner likes to report. Haribol. Thank you. You see, she's a young girl, she could go to university. And I sent her to university in Santa Marta. And she learned many things and how to coordinate the University of Higher. Now our university is not pretending to compete with the colonialistic universities, but the UTSAF is a very powerful instrument to do very wonderful contributions in different areas. And it's also depending, you could practically say that every volunteer and every member of the University of Ancient Wisdom is a representative or is an ambassador of the United Nations of the Spirit. That's what they do. And in a way, every devotee who's active preaching, he's also, just he may not have known that he could apply that title to it, but a devotee who's engaged in trying to convince people to become vegetarians or to do this and that, they are all ambassadors of the United Nations of the Spirit. You see, is very generous. This is really not something, oh, I am an ambassador and you not, I'm more than you. Oh, for God's sake, no. It is exactly the opposite. I'm an aspiring ambassador of the United Nations of the Spirit, and I really wish that you be one also and teach me how to do a good job for Mother Nature. Humility, fraternity, coming together, feeling for it, doing for it. So, who else likes to ask a question about the whole subject or wants to add something? Valentina, you like to say something about your experience? Yeah. About the United Nations of the Spirit. She was in the Kiva Kumbh Mela, and she is a psychologist from Chile, so she has her appreciation. What did you see?
No. No? You speak English? No. I can.
Me solicitaron el traductor.
Bueno, mi primera experiencia con la UTSA y Naciones Unidas del Espíritu comienza el año pasado con el Inti Raymi, que todas las culturas tradicionales la mantienen bien viva, y que fue en Perú, en Cusco.
My first experience with United Nations of the Spirit and the University of Ancient Wisdom took place last year in Cusco, in the Inti Raymi, where there were several gatherings and where I got to know, to appreciate.
Y que fue la primera vez que escuché del proyecto de la UTSA.
And that was the first time that I heard of the project of the UTSA.
Y que para mí fue como haber encontrado como esa necesidad, esa búsqueda de poder conectarme yo con la naturaleza.
And for me it was like an invitation to fulfill the gap which I had been looking for, to connect myself with Mother Nature.
Pero también con la espiritualidad y también siendo un aporte para esta humanidad.
But also with spirituality and with doing a personal contribution to the whole thing.
Y fue en ese momento donde escuché por primera vez a Guru Maharaj hablar del proyecto de la UTSA.
And that time I heard the lecture given about the UTSAF in Cusco.
Y para mí fue tan sorprendente poder conocer un proyecto que detrás de esta figura de proyecto no había nada como fines de lucro, que solamente estaba el corazón puesto para poder hacer un aporte para la humanidad, que a mí me pareció sorprendente también querer participar, querer tener más información y de alguna manera colaborar en lo que fuese necesario.
I didn't catch it. I wanted to understand what way I can contribute to the whole thing, and in this way I started getting more information of what was going on.
Y bueno, ahí mi primera colaboración fue contribuir a hacer un resumen, de alguna manera, cuál era la visión y la organización de la UTSA para que ese material fuese distribuido a todas las personas que quisieran conocer el proyecto.
So I started writing a resume of all the things I saw, that people who want to know about it can also get to know what is the UTSAF by reading my resume.
Y del cual fuimos trabajando con
Have
un
you
amigo.
sent that resume to me? No. You didn't send me that resume.
Está, para presentarlo ya
Okay.
estaría listo. Sí. Sí, ya está en el blog de la UTSA. En un medio de comunicación, ya está en el blog de la UTSA.
Acha.
Sí. Y bueno, posteriormente mi siguiente participación y donde me he ido involucrando más fue en la Kiva Kumbamela, que fue también todo un proceso de preparación que hubo el año pasado para culminar a principios de este año en la India, donde varios pueblos originarios viajaron hasta la India para encontrarse con los sabios de allá y poder hacer un solo rezo por la Madre Tierra, por los ríos y por la Madre Tierra.
And I saw that there was a big tendency and a plan to make a joint prayer for the rivers and the water bodies and Mother Earth through a unified spirit of praying.
Y fue bien lindo, fue bien hermoso poder conocer eso porque varias personas viajaron.
So now she's talking about the Kiva Kumbh Mela, where people came together from all over the world to start praying and caring for our Mother Earth.
Donde estuvieron también otras organizaciones como Raíces de la Tierra.
There were other organizations like Roots of the Earth,
que contribuyó con el fuego que se mantuvo durante toda la Kiva.
they helped with the fire which was alive throughout the Kiva.
Y que la Kiva también es un proceso de encuentro que que trae los mismos pueblos originarios de América y que este mismo círculo, este mismo encuentro donde está el fuego sagrado hizo converger a una cantidad de gente para poder rezar, para poder construir con la Madre Tierra y también hacer un compromiso con la Madre Tierra. En ese momento varios líderes se comprometieron a seguir el legado de la Madre Tierra, a seguir protegiéndola.
Many people came and many leaders, they saw what was going on and they also promised that they will connect and participate in this caring, sharing attitude which is being promoted by the UTSAV and the United Nations of the Spirit.
Para luego retornar a sus propios territorios y seguir el trabajo que en este caso tiene que ver con la UTSA, o mejor dicho, con Naciones Unidas del Espíritu.
To return to their territories and to continue their work for the United Nations of the Spirit. That's it.
Sí, bueno, y después, posteriormente, yo seguí viajando también con los devotos.
After that, I kept traveling with some devotees.
Y seguir conociendo también una de las culturas ancestrales, que es la cultura Veda.
And thus I get to know the ancient culture called the Vedic culture.
Y uno va aprendiendo y se va dando cuenta que dentro de las culturas ancestrales hay una unión, independiente si son de América, son de India, son de África. Hay algo entre todas las culturas antiguas que convergen en sí, que tienen una unión. Y esa unión tiene que ver con el legado de la Madre Tierra, del cuidado, de la protección, de los saberes ancestrales, de los distintos rituales. Y eso lo fui aprendiendo también una vez que fui viajando también con los devotos y conociendo también a otras culturas.
So I could also see that there's many rituals and many types of processes from different cultures, but they're all enhancing the appreciation that we belong to one big unit to care.
Y bueno, y uno de los desafíos que tiene hoy en día la UTSA también, como lo decía Govinda, dentro de sus proyectos, es cuidar y proteger el legado de las culturas ancestrales.
And it is also one of the duties of the University of Ancient Wisdom to protect the ancient wisdom of the tribes, so that they can, that this information will survive and will be made available, kept available for the people.
¿Y por qué es tan importante proteger los saberes ancestrales?
And why is it important to protect the ancient tribal knowledge?
Porque ellos de años han sabido mantener y la forma de relacionarse con la Madre Tierra.
Because they have an experience of where you maintain the good positive relationship with your environment going on continued. There's a sustainable continuity which gone on for tens of thousands of years, and they know how they did that. They know what things to take care, what is the alarm, and what to do. And we don't. We just take until it breaks.
Y conocimiento que ha sido transmitido en generación.
And it was delivered down generation after generation, the ancient wisdom.
Ejemplo, cómo cuidar la tierra, cuándo sembrar, las semillas, que tengo
How
que ir
to
a
look
colectar.
after the seeds, what time to plant, and different agricultural wisdoms also is there.
O por ejemplo, nosotros llegamos a un lugar y somos tan poco conscientes que no sabemos pedir permiso al territorio o al lugar donde estamos. Entonces eso,
We reach somewhere, we don't know how to ask for permission to enter into the territory and to be properly related to the people there.
y como también saber agradecer.
And we also don't even know how to say thank you to Mother Nature and to
Agradecer por los alimentos,
say thank you for the food we are getting,
la cobija o
the
todo lo que ella
blanket
nos
we
da.
put.
Eso, así que ha sido como una permanente, podríamos decirlo, aprendizaje en este camino de darme cuenta cómo finalmente los distintos saberes ancestrales convergen en un punto, y ese punto es que hay algo en común y que es la Madre Tierra, y cómo nosotros debemos cuidarla, y cómo ella también nos retribuye, nos alimenta, nos cuida, pero aquí el desafío, ¿qué podemos nosotros hacer por ella?
So that we see the Mother Nature is looking after us, is doing so many wonderful things for us, but we are not doing anything constructive for her. And that has to change. We have to learn how to do this, how to be responsible and respond.
Y hoy en día yo creo que ya hay varios proyectos en sí, lo digo
There's
como,
many projects already,
como a nivel mundial, ya sea la UTSA, que están contribuyendo de alguna manera a Naciones Unidas del Espíritu, como una ofrenda, pero también despiertan otros movimientos hoy en día, como el de la joven de Greta, de Estocolmo, de Suecia, que hace un llamado a toda la humanidad para despertar, que hay que tener mayor conciencia por lo que está sucediendo en el mundo, por el cambio climático, cómo nosotros debemos mejorar nuestras prácticas. Y está haciendo un llamado de atención a todos. Y ahí aparece también un movimiento que es Viernes por el Futuro.
there's many other movements also existing which are working in this direction, who are like Friday for Future and others, and they are also doing the same. They're calling for the awareness, and that we have to do really things to change the thing, to change the consciousness. So it's a very wonderful platform. We can work together, and that we should take advantage of. Thank you so much, Valentina. Where's Nimai Nitai? Where's Nimai Nitai? Is he not here? Okay. Do we have any other questions here? Any other questions? Preguntas? Wanted Nimani die? I don't know why he's not here.
They are calling him.
Ah, yes. Dwarkarani, you want to say something? Come on. Share your wisdom of what is United Nation of the Spirit. But you please speak in English. Please. I have to go to the bathroom in a second.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Since I'm close to the devotees, I felt very attracted to the UTSA project and United Nation of the Spirits way of view the spirituality of Gurudeva. So one of my first festivals was Akiva in Barcelona. So there I could see how every native people from Colombia came into a Vaishnava ashram and shared together around the fire. So the Vaishnava people made an arctic to the fire, and then each one of the wisest and mamos y abuelas and grandmothers of the others communities make their chants and their offering, and everybody dance and chant around, and we were doing that because of it was a special day for the cycle of the sun. So for me, that information was very new in that time, and it was very important because I knew about the cycles of the moon before, but the cycle of the sun, it was very equinoxes. It was very new for me. Maybe for the people here in Europe is more normal because of the stations or of the seasons, but there we are not very close in the change of the seasons. But I understood, like a woman, that as me, with the moon, I changed my way of feel. The same happened with men, with the sun. So the sun has a cycle, and men also has. And it was something very special for me, like feeling me celebrating something together, and for the nature, for the earth. So then, in the services I continue doing, I always pick up the UTSA or United Nation of Spirits, and in the way of that, I have learned more things about the traditional and ancestral wisdom, and I wish to continue learning that and share that, because of the reasons everybody has spoken today, why that is very important to save the planet, the environment, to keep one plastic out from the water. It is important to have the understanding very deep in you. So, like Govinda said, feel the Mother Earth is in you, and you are also in the Mother Earth. Is a very deep feeling and consciousness that we had lost. So the UTSA give us the opportunity to go into that knowledge, sharing with the with wise people that had it, hold it in the way they used to do it, around the fire, in a circle, walking around the forest, looking to the river, not in a classroom. So UTSA have that kind of spaces. And United Nations of Spirits is just like the tolerance and respect of the most important people that are practicing one spiritual path. They share together and teach us how we can do the same. And maybe one day the whole humanity can understand by the example of them. So I hope I can continue servicing in United Nations of Spirits and keep the service here in Vaishnava community, like with a whole and open mind to understand that we have one way of communicate with God, but there are many. So we all together can do more and help to get together everybody. Thank you. Ni mai ni tai.
Nimani Tai, please. Report. Report to the mark.
What should I say, Gurudeva?
Oh, what shall you say? What